All right, so we back again.
Yes, we are.
This week we're going to talk about trials, troubles, tribulation, whatever you really want to call
Yeah,
it. And
there's a lot. There's a lot of that stuff in the Bible.
yeah, it is. Actually, I was looking at Strong's Concordance earlier. Because first we get into it a little bit. So, what do you what do you consider a trial or a trouble or tribulation?
I mean, it could be anything really. If you're having, if you're having a problem at work, something, like a situation that you're having problems finding a solution for. I mean, that could be a trial. You could be having trial with, a child. Could be having a trial with your spouse. There's just tons of things.
What about
Financial
sickness?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like health issues.
Yeah.
So health issues, financial issues,
health issues,
mental issues,
yeah, anything,
emotional struggles,
yes, that's all trials.
marriage,
Yes.
family,
Yeah,
work,
100%.
life.
Yeah, life is full of trials.
Life be life, and son.
Life be life. Life
So,
be trialing.
I mean, just basically any and everything.
Yeah, could be anything. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, with that, what's your fleshly like? What is your fleshly response to those things?
I get depressed.
You get depressed?
Oh, real bad.
Really?
100%. Yes.
Like anxiety or like
just like shut down.
Okay.
No energy, no nothing. I just want to be by myself, curled up in the bed. Just,
do you have like if you were to say you had an outlet, if you were fleshly minded, like you had an outlet that you went to like help you overcome the depression or whatever?
Substance wise, you talking maybe alcohol or something like that?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, no, not really, not that. I don't have. I never had a like if things were going bad, I wasn't gonna go out and go on a bender. Yeah, I've never been like that, and I wasn't gonna go get ripped. I wasn't gonna go snort an 8-ball and nothing crazy, smoke an ounce of weed or something. Nothing like that.
Okay.
But just if I'm having, I just shut down.
Okay.
I just shut down.
Do you tend to withdraw?
Yes.
From people and things, yes. and groups and
yes, 100%
activities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. Well, check this out. So I was reading this other week, and then D group reading this week was Acts 20, and we'll get to that in a second. So in John 16, Jesus says this right here in verse 33, and I don't want to take it out of context, but he said that I have said these things to you, and the things that he said before was, believe, and the hour is coming, and this stuff and that stuff. I have said these things to you so that in me you may have peace.
Mm-hmm.
In the world you will have tribulation,
mm-hmm.
but take heart, I have overcome the world. So I was looking up the word tribulation in Strong's Concordance earlier. And I don't know if you know what Strong's Concordance is or not, but it basically gives you like the Greek translation. And so there's a couple of different things. Pressure, and it says literally or figuratively, affliction or afflicted, anguish, burden, persecution, tribulation, trouble. Tribulation is used 21 times in the King James. Affliction is used 17, trouble 3, anguish 1, persecution 1, burden 1, to be afflicted. And it occurs like 45 different times. The same kind of verbiage,
right,
for tribulation. So, like, the troubles that come with life. Jesus is saying, hey, in this world, you will have troubles. You'll have tribulation. And then he says, but. So we talked about but before.
Yeah.
Whatever comes before but, you can disregard
yeah,
because of what comes after it.
Right.
And he says, but take heart, I have overcome the world.
Mm-hmm.
So trials and tribulations can be disregarded if we have, the peace and the mindset of Jesus has overcome.
Mm-hmm.
And Romans says we are more than conquerors through Christ who loved us.
Yeah.
So it's not that we're the conquerors, Jesus is.
Right.
And through him we are.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I was going to say that stuff, but Acts 20, and this is kind of where the nugget, or not really the nugget, but the stuff comes from. So in Acts 20, Paul he speaks to the Ephesian elders, right? And when he's talking to them, he, from verse 19 through 28, he's talking about how he served the Lord with humility, with tears, with trials that happened to him through the plots of the Jews. But he says this, he says, how I did not shrink from declaring to you anything that was profitable and teaching you in public and from the house to house, testifying both to Jews and Greeks of repentance towards God and faith. Right? And he's saying these things, and he started out with the trials and troubles, but then he's saying, I didn't shrink back because of the trials and troubles. I didn't shrink back from sharing the gospel. I didn't shrink back from being active in church. I didn't shrink back from doing what God has called me to do or being who God's called me to be because of the trials and the afflictions that I've faced.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I mean, we don't have to really there's no reading into that.
No, there's not.
So
there's not at all. And just to kind of spin off of that for just a second. In James 1, verses 2 through 4, it says, count it all as joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that in the testing of your faith produces steadfastness, and lets steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. When you have adversities or trials or whatever, tribulation, whatever you have going on,
you can just ball them up on the same.
Yeah. So when you have something going on in your life, that is spiritual warfare. When you get that way, that's what it is. You're letting the devil creep in. I know for me, just take for instance, if I'll just throw something out. All right, if I don't get a recruit,
mm-hmm.
and she chooses not to come to Brooklyn, I feel some kind of way about it. Well, maybe I'm, maybe I wasn't a good enough recruiter, or I wasn't a good enough coach for, or I wasn't a good enough this, or even take the recruit out. A player leaves, and you feel like you failed, or all those things. None of those things is the truth. It's not the truth. It's you allowing the devil to come in and kill that joy, kill your spirit right there, and then it puts you in a place where, like with me, I shut down. I don't want to talk to anybody. I want to be left alone. And I'm usually outgoing, talkative, all the things. And I'm not that way when I get depressed and I get in those spaces. I used to be really bad about it. I used to get all caught up in finances and all caught up in this and that and other. And I'd get in that fog, and Casey would be like, what's wrong with you? And I can tell you now, over the past, couple of years, I don't find myself in that place anymore, because I lean now. I think I go back to a spiritual place. I draw closer to God. I grow closer to God in those moments now, versus allowing the devil to come in and steal steal that time. And I think that is, that's something that's really helped me, over the past couple of years is I just don't sweat that stuff. I don't sweat anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of just is what it is. I just kind of roll with the punches, and I always, now more so, if I ever feel myself getting in that place, I'm immediately going to turn on, I'm going to turn on a message on YouTube. I'm going to jump in the Bible. I'm immediately going to go to that place. I'm immediately going to seek God in that moment. And it kind of clears that stuff out.
Yeah. So you're seeking God for peace and comfort.
Oh yeah. I mean, what am I going to change? What am I going to be able to change about anything that's going on? If there's a financial situation, what am I going to be able to change about it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who's going to be able to fix it faster, me or God?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with a relationship. If you got something going on in a relationship, who's going to be able to fix it faster, you or God? God can fix it instantly.
Yeah,
you may or may not be able to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think he can definitely give you the peace instantly.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah. So just let's take a relationship. Let's say me and Casey's having a problem. If I'm being out of shape about something, or she's been out of shape about something, if I see God immediately and I pray for her and I pray for the situation, I'm fixing my heart, right?
Yeah.
I'm fixing my heart to the situation. Therefore, I'm going to say things that's going to fix the situation faster. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you.
Versus coming from a place of flesh where I could potentially hurt it more.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. I just see like, and listen, I've been there. I think if we're honest, we've probably all been there where we've allowed situations, circumstances, trials, and troubles in this life draw us away from the Lord.
Yeah. Well, that's
because you either getting anxiety or worry or depression or whatever, we get so caught up on how we can fix whatever it is that's going on, or we get so caught up on how we can't figure out how to fix what's going on that it draws us away from the Lord.
Yeah. And then when you're in a situation where you're at your wit's end, right? And there's nothing that that you can physically do to fix it. It's just going to put you in a darker place.
Yeah.
It's not, it's not going to, you're not going to go to this point.
Yeah.
And then go the other way.
I mean, like, how do you help people understand, that, like, if you're having health issues or you're having struggles, at work or whatever, like, withdrawing from church is the total opposite of the right answer.
Yes, 100%.
Like, you're getting away from the spiritual healing, that you need. And I'm not saying that it happens solely at church. It happens, between you and the Lord.
Right.
But we talked about this before. Like, God made us as communal beings.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why it says, "Do not forsake the gathering."
Yes.
Right. With meeting with one another. It's because we need it.
Yeah.
And then how are we supposed to share our burdens with one another? We talked about it before too. If we're not showing up, we're not like, "Hey man, I need prayer for this, I need that." And you can call and say, "Hey, look, I need prayer for this," and then say, and then stop coming to church. Like, you're not helping yourself.
Right.
And if I did it, I wouldn't be helping myself. And I hope someone would call and say, "Hey Joe, like, hey man, this is not what you need to be doing."
Yeah. It's absolutely right. And that's all by design, right? It's by design that way. If, like you were just saying, with you, even with me, with you, when you withdraw from the things that are good, your quiet time with God, you seeking God, going to church, doing these things, doing all of the spiritual things, the devil's winning, right? He's drawing you further away.
Yeah.
So that goes back to, that makes my point that any kind of trial or tribulation in your life is from the dark. It's from the devil. You know, it's designed to be a stumbling block.
Yeah, but we see in John what Jesus says, take heart.
Yeah.
Just but. So he's disregarding it. He's saying, don't forget about that, bro.
Yeah.
You're good. It's going to happen. Forget about it.
Yeah.
I've overcome.
Yeah, that is what it is.
Yeah. You're going to have it. I've overcome.
Yeah.
So he's giving us the answer.
Yeah.
And he did it himself. You know, Jesus often retreated up by himself to pray.
Yeah.
You know, and then Paul shows us, you know, another example, and so do the other apostles, disciples of like, man, Paul knew what was going to happen to him.
Yeah.
You know, he's been locked up. You know, he knows what's waiting ahead of him, but he doesn't shrink back from the responsibilities that God had given him.
Yeah.
He presses forward.
Yeah. You know, and I mean, you think about what what we were just saying about, or what you just said about, you know, you withdraw from church gatherings, from being around people that can help you spiritually, you know, be beside you, pray for you, you know, do all these things. And we, you know, so many times we make excuses for missing things, for not going to things, for not committing to things, for not doing things. We make those decisions, you know, and this ain't necessarily based on a trial or tribulation. I think people sometimes, I think people sometimes use circumstances that may be going on as a scapegoat for not doing.
Yeah, there's a difference between a reason and an excuse.
An excuse. Yeah, you know, like, man, I'm just trying to think of, you know, something, you know, just say it was my day to usher, and I've committed to you guys that, hey, I'm going to be an usher. It's my Sunday. And I worked nights, and Saturday night I had to work late, and so I was tired and didn't want to get up and go to church. So I just don't make arrangements, don't do anything. I just don't go to church. You know, I committed to y'all to do this, and then I allowed my flesh, me being tired, making an excuse not to fulfill not only the obligation that I made to you, but a written obligation that I made to God. Hey, I'm going to serve you here in this capacity, and then me just not do it and just kind of flake out, or you know, I mean, there's thousands of different scenarios. You know, you can make 100 different excuses for not going to D group or not going to this or that. And the fact of the matter is, to get ready, like talking about D groups, to get ready to go to D group, if you do it the way it's designed to do, it should take you like 15 minutes a day, maybe more. To do it, to read your verse, to get your big idea, you know, all the things you got to do. I mean, you're talking 15 minutes a day.
Yeah, reading journal, 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, 15, 20, just say 30.
Whatever.
There's nobody in this world that there's nobody in this.
Tell me you ain't got 30 minutes.
Somewhere throughout the day.
If you ain't got 30, if you tell me you ain't got 30 minutes somewhere throughout the day,
you are a liar.
Yeah, because I guarantee you got 30 minutes to watch TV, your PlayStation, or whatever it is that you like to do.
Something.
Yeah, shoot guns or bow and arrows.
Or whatever.
Go outside and dig around in your garden.
Media.
Or social media is huge.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Go. I'll tell you what. Go on your iPhone or whatever phone you got, and look at your screen time.
Yes. What it is.
Here's a good one. Your screen time will show you your social media time, your like your other app times, and Messenger, your FaceTime. It'll even show you your Bible app time if that's where you read your Bible app.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Like I don't use the Bible on my phone a whole lot.
Yeah.
If I'm out of town or something, I will. Or if I'm like just trying to look something up real quick, I will. But mostly it's my physical one.
Yeah. But it's just an excuse, and it's just if you're doing those things, like when I went through the D group last year, when we started D group, my days were really busy between 8 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
So as I was getting into doing D group, I was like, I've got to do something different because if I ever get started with my day don't stop. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Once I get started with my day, it's hard for me to pull away. So I finally it was important enough to me to do this that I just go to work an hour early. I just started going to work an hour early. I go sit in my office first hour. I wouldn't do nothing. I would listen to worship music and do my stuff. I made it. I made it a point because
I can't. How do you do it with music on?
I just turn it on low in the background.
I can't do it.
Yeah, but I made that a point, and I made that a habit.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what's going on in your life. You can be a business owner and be balls to the wall from 6 o'clock to 6 to 6.
You make time for what's important. That's the bottom line.
Take a 30-minute lunch and do it the other 30 minutes.
You make time for what's important.
Yeah. You got to do those things.
Or you don't.
Yeah. Because, and I know we kind of got off on a little tangent there, and we tend to do that, but it's all the same thing. It's you have to train yourself. It's just like military, anything. You have to train yourself to. We're creatures of habit.
Mm-hmm.
Used to, when I got depressed, I went and I was alone. I was by myself. I was in a funk for sometimes a couple hours, sometimes a couple of days. That was a habit. That's where I went. Some people go to alcohol. Some people go to drugs. Some people go to this, go to that, whatever. Mine was, I just shut down. I didn't have any energy. I didn't want to get out of the bed. I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to be here in this space. I broke that habit. That's not my habit now. If I ever feel myself getting funks, just like I said earlier, I'm turning on something, worship music. I'm turning on a message on YouTube. I'm getting the Bible. I'm praying,
So you found triggers, and you found something that when you're triggered, you know what to do.
Yes. And it's all habits. It's all the same thing. And it's just like you were saying earlier, you don't need to, just because you're going through a trial or a tribulation, or you got a sick family member, or you and your wife are struggling, or this and that, or you're busy at work. You can't allow that to be a stumbling block for what you need.
So, and I find this to be true with anybody who's like starting out in a group or getting into church. You will be attacked because you're going to be, and the Bible tells us we're in spiritual warfare. So when you start doing what the Lord wants you to do, don't expect to not have trials and tribulations. I mean, Jesus said you're going to have it. He said, take heart, I've overcome them. Right. Mm-hmm. So we've got to get to the point where we're helping people understand that, and even and reminding ourselves of that.
Yeah.
That look, right now it's tough, but man, Jesus has already overcome this. I don't really have to worry about it. You know what I mean? Like it's going to work itself out.
And another thing,
I just got to have faith.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and that's one thing that that I really had to learn this year, with our season with flag football. And this is one thing I told the girls 1,000 times. The girls that got injured, the girls that were struggling, struggling going, with grades or struggling on the field, these types of things. I'm like, you're going through this trial, but you've got to change your focus. You can't focus on poor, pitiful me. You got to focus on God. What are you trying to teach me in this? And when you put the focus there, you automatically turn there.
Yeah.
You
ain't teaching me nothing.
I know, but I'm just saying, but I seen the girls this year, and I have one girl, bless her heart, greatest kid from the greatest family. She's a great athlete, just great people. She gets there in August. Third day of practice, third or fourth day of practice, she pulls both of her hamstrings, both of them. And so she's out for, golly, man, she was out for most all of fall, trying to get a rehab. Her hamstrings were really tight. So she actually didn't pull them. They were just real tight. So if she would have kept on, she was going to pull them, but our training staff shut her down. And so we were trying to get her fixed hamstring wise, just a whole deal. So she gets back, and we come back in January, getting ready for the season. She's practicing, everything's going good. She's doing good. She's getting, she's going up the depth chart. Everything's going good for her. We play it was the second game of the season, and she's playing corner. She goes up to break up a pass, and she falls funny on her elbow and tore her, whatever the Tommy John ligament is. Anyway, so there's 3 ligaments. She tore 2 of them completely, and one of them was the only thing holding intact, so she didn't have to have surgery. She's out for the rest of the season. And she was in my office every week, and she was squalling. I mean, she was just like, because she wanted to play, and she wanted to, but I told her, and I tell her every week, baby girl, you don't worry about anything. You're going to be fine. You're going to be at Bruton Parker until you decide not to be at Bruton Parker. You don't worry about anything. You focus on getting better. I said, but the thing you got to focus on the most is, what is God trying to teach you?
Yeah.
And I mean, it was just constant. And there were situations like that all across the board, and I think if you get in the mindset and you focus yourself on when something starts going bad, or you're going through a trial, or you're going through some turmoil, if you immediately focus on, hey, what is God trying to teach me here? If it's financial, am I being stupid with my money? What is God trying to teach me in this? And you focus on that, it's going to center you back on God. First and foremost, it's going to center you back where you need to be.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing that's the biggest thing that helped me not getting in that place.
Well, it's the difference in being spiritual minded and fleshly minded.
Yeah.
So if you focus on the situation and the circumstances, you can be focused on what's the flesh want to do.
Yes. Yes.
The flesh wants to withdraw. The flesh wants to figure out how I can deal with this myself. How can I, what can I do? Can I cut this off? Can I save some money here?
Yeah.
Can I go to a different doctor? Can I get a second opinion? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Right. But if you focus on the spiritual part and set your mind on things of the spirit, and remember, hey, we're going to face some hardships,
mm-hmm.
And then think about the stuff that they went through in the New Testament.
Yeah.
The persecution they went through, and think about, Hebrews, where it says, if you resisted sin and to bleed, or no. So if it's the mindset.
It is. It's
whenever that comes.
It's all the mindset.
So here's the reality: is the situation or circumstance bigger than God?
That's it.
All right. So let's look at it like an eye test. You know, if you here's God, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like this is God.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if he's right here, and then the circumstances like right here,
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can still see God, and I can see God's bigger than that.
Yeah.
But if I move that
away
from me, and I keep the situation, circumstance right here, I can't see God anymore.
Right.
Because I've withdrawn.
And that's all by design.
So now the situation, the circumstance has become bigger than God.
Yes.
Because I've gotten further away from
mm-hmm.
God.
Mm-hmm.
But if we stay close to God, the Bible says, draw near to me and I'll draw near to you. That's what the Lord says. So the closer we are to God, when that situation that wants to separate us from God comes between us, God's so close that it doesn't matter.
It don't matter.
It's like,
hey, get out of the way.
Get out of the way, bro.
They enough room.
You see what I'm saying? Because God is this big, so we cannot not see him.
That's right.
But when he's from you to I, and I put something right here, now I can't see you anymore.
Right. That's right. That's exactly right.
And so it's staying in fellowship with the Lord and staying close to the Lord. And, that's by design too.
Yeah.
That's by design from God. Like God wants us to be in fellowship with him so that when those things come, we're reminded like, hey man, God's bigger than this.
This needs to get out of the way.
The last thing I need to do is back up.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Because if I back up,
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why people, when they get a bass, when they catch a bass, they catch a 2-pound bass, they hold it way up in front of the camera like this.
Yeah.
And way away from the body. Right? Because now it looks bigger.
Yeah.
It's closer to the camera.
Right.
And now you can't see them because they're holding it up, 3 feet away from them.
Yeah.
It's the same optics, dude.
It is.
The closer you are to God, the closer that I am to God, the closer that anybody is to God, the more that we draw near to him,
mm-hmm.
the bigger he is, so that when these trials and tribulations come and they get in between us and the Lord, which is what they want to do,
mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So asking the question, I think, that's one thing I think I taught y'all last year in D group is to, when these things come, ask the question.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what are you trying to teach me, man?
Yeah. And to be honest, you're probably the one that got me in that mindset. Now that I think back, because I was kind of sitting here while you were talking, thinking about when I got into that mindset. And I think that was with the mind. I think that may have been when I got in that mindset.
Yeah, I think I was explaining the pool situation.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And I look back now. Where my life's at right now versus where it was at then a year ago.
But look at what you've done with that, though. You've taken something that I said in D group to a couple men, and I shared it with a lot of people.
Yeah,
and you spread that to 20-something girls.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Look at what the Lord does with us when
we're obedient.
When we're obedient.
Yeah, 100%.
I can't take credit for that. That's something the Lord revealed to me, and then through me to you. Now it's you spread it around, and people start to realize like, hey,
focus there.
Focus on the Lord.
I can honestly say right now, and it may go to hell in a handbasket tonight. Mine Case's marriage right now is stronger than it's ever been in 26 years. That's the God honest truth. 26 years. The past year of our marriage has been stronger and better than it has been for 25 years. And we've always had a good marriage, and I don't get me wrong, but there is a difference in a good marriage and a great marriage. Mm-hmm. And I've got a great marriage. I mean, it's absolutely great. Because if you think about it from the relationship standpoint, if you get in that funk or you withdraw and you and your spouse is having a problem and you withdraw, and then that goes on a couple of days and then everything's good and then it's back again and then it's good. It's a roller coaster, right? Mm-hmm. if when you so it's a constant up and down, up and down, up and down. But when you go through those trials and tribulations, and you focus on getting your heart right, not her heart right, getting your heart right, praying for her, getting your heart right. When the situation's big, then you don't go back to that place.
Yeah, well, I mean, we had this conversation with some guys the other day. You were in there, so yeah.
I mean, and now, I mean, for like I said, man, the last year, I thought I had a good marriage. I got great. I mean, I got a great marriage. I know Miranda be wanting to fight you.
How much does that have to do with the kids not being at home anymore?
Well, I mean, it could have some stuff to do with it, but
like y'all not having to worry about kids anymore.
I mean, that could have something to do with it, but I mean, we're just in a good place, and the reason being is I don't, for one, for so many years of our marriage, it was always the number one thing. You had two things that you're going to struggle with as a couple: sex and money. You're going to struggle with those things, and when you allow the devil to have any part of either one of those two things, it causes a marriage to be bad, and that it causes that roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
And once as a man, with me, once I focused on what I needed to focus on, my heart, focusing on God, it fixed all of that.
Yeah, so many people have a trouble with or in their marriage, and they think that God needs to fix their spouse.
Yeah.
Instead of working on, hey, let me step back, Lord, work on this is, help me improve in these areas, help me improve as a husband. And then, pray that God blesses your wife and thank God for your wife. Just go tell God, man, you start praying for your wife every day. Not that God fixes her, that be thankful. It's hard to be mad at something that you're thankful for.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because even, and I know we're kind of getting up on marriage tendency on a parent, but whatever. If you don't like it, just shut this part off. But if you pray for, first of all, God blessed you with her, whether you think it's a blessing or a curse.
Yeah.
That's who God placed for you. Somewhere along the way, you decided that you loved your spouse and you wanted to marry her. You couldn't live without her. You just don't get to change your mind and say you can't live with her now. That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. If you want her then, you still want her now. You just got to get your heart right. And if you focus on God and you pray for her, not for God to change her, pray for God to change your heart and pray for her, be thankful for her.
But yeah, I mean, it's no different if you have a problem with somebody. I learned this years ago, like me praying that the Lord deals with this person does not change my heart to that person.
No.
But if I pray that God blesses them, then it changes my heart in the way that I view them.
Yes.
And I'm no longer hostile or angry or bitter or whatever you want to call it, because I ain't got time for that, bro. Nope. And I found myself, this was a couple of years back, I think I shared this with y'all in D group or whatever, I don't remember, but something happened. I was agitated, and I was kind of praying like, hey God, deal with them. And then I realized like my heart was in the wrong place in how I was viewing this person. So I switched my prayer and I started praying that, hey, God bless them.
Yes. Yeah.
And then my heart changed, and Miranda and I were having a conversation about it. She was like, I'm just praying the Lord deals with them because every time I see them. And I was like, babe, you can't do that anymore. I said, I was doing it. It wasn't working for me. I just started praying that God bless them. And now I'm no longer agitated by this person,
Yeah.
or these people.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I think she started doing it too because she didn't say nothing else after that about being agitated or bitter with them or anything. So, but I mean, if you feed a bitter heart, it's going to stay bitter.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be bitter. You know, and one thing that I pray, when I pray, you know, every day when I pray for God to soften my heart.
Yeah.
Soften my heart. So I'm more in tune with the Holy Spirit. So when I open my mouth, God comes out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I also pray that for everybody else too.
Yeah.
You know, I pray that for you. I pray that for all of the girls. I pray it for my kids, Casey. You know, I pray for God to soften their heart. You know, because the heart is wicked. And so I pray for it to be softened. Mm-hmm. I mean, anybody that I pray for, like even, you know, Willie and, you know, in D group last night and every night, you know, I pray, hey, God, I pray you soften Willie's heart and draw him closer to you. I pray for Ashley, his wife, you know, I pray that you soften her heart. I pray for their kids that same way, you know.
I was thinking of that movie about Lee Strobel or whatever. You seen it?
Mm-hmm. If it ain't got cussing in it, I don't watch it.
It's I think it's called The Case for Christ.
No.
He's like an investigative journalist. It's really good. Yeah. He's an investigative journalist. He's a big time preacher in Texas now.
Ain't cussing it?
Well, I don't know.
Isn't he killing it? If ain't killing it, cussing, I ain't watching.
Yeah, I don't think so. Anyway, I think it's called The Case for Christ. His wife gets saved.
Right.
He's an atheist.
Yeah.
Investigative journalist. And he sets out to prove through evidence that Christ was not even a real person. And his wife the whole time is praying this, I think it's in Isaiah, turn my heart of stone into a heart of flesh. But she was praying over her husband.
Yeah.
Like turn his heart of stone into a heart of flesh.
Yeah.
Anyway, long story short, he goes on this investigative journalist, you know, journey basically. And all the evidence that he finds
couldn't find nothing to
proves that Jesus was real.
Yeah.
And that he did die on the cross.
Absolutely.
And that he did, you know, raise from the dead 3 days later.
What's the name of it?
Case for Christ, I believe. Anyway, guy's big time preacher in Texas now. Lee Strobel, I think is his name. Watch it. It's a really, really good movie.
Case for Christ.
Yeah, I think that's the name of it.
That is.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, Lee Strobel.
Yeah, that's it.
It seems like maybe at what's at stake week before last. It seemed like maybe the guy that was speaking may have said something about the same movie. Maybe
I don't know. I wasn't there. Anyway, what I was getting at was that I want to say it's in Isaiah, but I'm not 100% sure. But she was basically, that was the prayer for her husband after she got saved. Was that God would change his heart of stone into a heart of flesh, essentially soften his heart, so that he would come to the realization that Jesus is real.
Yeah,
you know, and you know, he went a different way. The Lord softened his heart. It was just he did it in a different way than he does a lot of people.
Yeah,
and it was through facts and evidence.
Right.
You know,
some people's like that. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. When I pulled it up and looked, I was like, dang, it's got Matthew McConaughey in it. Don't that kind of look like Matthew McConaughey?
Right. Yeah, a little bit.
All right. I thought that was him. I was like, hey, this might be pretty legit.
It's actually a really good movie.
Well, I'm going to watch it tonight when I get through eating ribs.
You should. It's a legit good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, you know, talking about all this stuff, I was just thinking, you know, mental health is such a big issue with college kids and young kids these days.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's such a struggle, and it's the reason why. It's the reason why me as a head coach, why I made up my mind that I was going to meet with my girls once a week, one-on-one. I mean, that's the reason I made that decision, because having Blaine and Bryce both have played collegiate sports before, I knew how bad they struggled with mental health, and I seen how the school that Blaine played for handled it in a poor manner. And then I seen how Georgia Southern handled it on an elite level. And so I made it my mind really early. That was the reason that I was going to have one-on-one meetings every single week with every single one of my girls, just so I could, had nothing to do with flag football. It was checking on their grades, checking on their family back home, seeing what's going on in their lives, just trying to get ahead of that, trying to help make sure that they don't get in going through those trials and those tribulations and those types of struggles. I wanted to be able to help guide them through that and save them some of that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm wondering why so many people, mental health is such a huge, I think back to, the 90s, like mental health wasn't even a thing.
No, man, we just went out and drank a beer, got plastered.
I don't, mental health is like, even in high school, I don't remember anybody talking about mental health.
No, nobody talking about it.
Like, I don't even remember it being a thing until,
but
10, 15 years ago.
But have you ever really just sat down and thought about, hey, when you were growing up and when you were going through high school, looking back now as an adult, do you ever think about situations where maybe I was struggling with my mental health a little bit right there? Have you ever thought about that? Maybe doing stupid stuff. You just did stupid stuff, just do stupid stuff.
Why? Because I had mental health issues. I don't think.
I think you still.
I never sat there and thought about it and tried to analyze, was I struggling with mental health? I think there was things that agitated me, and I would struggle a little bit from here to there. Like, if my brother got locked up or something like that again, I'd have a bad day.
Sure.
And best not be around me, piss me off.
Yeah.
But outside of that, like, I don't really know. Yeah.
I
would say that there's certain things I did probably because of my mindset on how those things operated or how I viewed something, but I don't know if I struggle. I don't think I struggle with mental health. Like, I wasn't depressed or.
You probably did, as you wouldn't call it.
Yeah, I don't know.
So let's think about it like this. If
I just wonder if it isn't the technology that's made that trend so much more than it was back then.
Maybe
because we didn't have all that stuff.
No, could be.
But like, our validation wasn't getting likes and subscribes on whatever.
Yeah, but if you think about a situation like you just said, like with your brother getting locked up again or whatever, and you had a bad day or you had a bad day, would you handle that day different now being a Christian than you did then? Or would it be still the same? You still be pissy and agitated?
No, it'd definitely be different now.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't a really good illustration on this because that's saved versus unsaved.
Well, it wasn't even, I got saved when I was in like third grade. So it's just, I withdrew and I was a prodigal son.
You might have just been the whole total.
I wanted to take my inheritance and go blow it. And then, come dragging back in filthy rags,
wanting to eat pig, wanting to feed daddy's pigs.
That's my story.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, when we were growing up, or when I was growing up, because I'm a little bit older than you, but you didn't hear mental health and like.
So let's just take this a step further. This is why it's important for men to get it right, the trials and troubles and tribulations of this world, and focus on the Lord. Because when we get it right, we can teach our kids to get it right. We can set the example for what it looks like. Oh man, my dad was struggling this time with my mom or with finances or whatever, but he never shied away, never shrunk away from the Lord. He never backed away from the Lord. He never backed away from church. He never backed away from any area he was serving in because he was going through something.
We're clocking that. Yeah.
Clickety clock that.
Yeah, we're clocking
You
that.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Oh, 100%.
if we as men can learn how to do that, not shrink back from what the Lord has called us to do because we're facing trials or troubles, which we're told we're going to have anyway. If we understand that those are going to come, Jesus has overcome them. Our hope is in Him. Our peace is in Him. Our salvation is in Him.
Yep.
Then we don't really need to worry too much about this trial or trouble. Like, yeah, it's here. Yeah, it's agitating. Yeah, it sucks. Well, embrace it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
With the Lord's help, and He'll help you through it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And then let's set that example for our kids, because guess what? I got 2 daughters. So I don't want them marrying some weak dude who's, biblically illiterate, who doesn't understand, how to be a man, a godly man, or doesn't have a desire to be a godly man. I'll say that because there's times where I'm not a godly dude.
Yeah.
But I have a desire to be a godlier man. You know what I mean? So this is the example that we're setting for our kids, whether it's our boys, this is how you need to be. These are the things that you need to do and not do. Or if it's our girls, and say, hopefully they look at their dad and go, man, my dad was he was a dude of faith. Yeah. He loved the Lord. He didn't get it right all the time. And I seen him struggle, but he never shied away and backed away from his faith.
Oh yeah, that'll preach.
He stood firm.
Yeah, that'll preach.
He was strong in his faith.
Yeah, absolutely.
No matter what came.
Yeah. That's it.
So you
put a bow.
I mean, we can sit here and talk about mental health. We can talk about this. We can talk about that. We can talk about if and buts and candy and nuts all we want to. Okay.
Hey, yeah.
So the reality of it is, what are we doing with what we have and what we know? Because it ain't really how much of this we know. It's how much of this do we live.
That's it.
So knowing that we're going to have trials and troubles, knowing that Jesus has overcome it, knowing that we're more than conquerors through Him who loved us and loves us and died for us, and understanding like this is temporary. Yeah. This situation is temporary. Yep. This trial, this tribulation, this struggle, this affliction, this persecution is temporary. My faith and my hope is in the Lord. And that's what I want to focus on.
Yeah. And that's it. You put a freaking bow on it, tied up nice and neat.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So focus on that.
Because I've noticed the more that I have done that, the more I have been that way, the more I see Casey being that way, the more I see Kylan being that way, the more I see the boys being that way. I mean, even the girls on the flag team, the more I you can show the gospel. You can show the gospel and share the gospel just as much as open your mouth and tell them.
This world is in a dire need of dudes who desire to be godly men.
100%.
Setting examples. And don't follow me. I'm not a good example.
I'm definitely.
But what I'm saying is, strive for that.
Yes.
Set a goal for that.
Yeah, and you can't do that by making excuses not to serve, making excuses not to go to D group, making excuses not to be an usher, or working in sound, or serving, at a men's thing or whatever. That's not an excuse. There's no good excuse not to do it.
Well, the Bible, Paul talks about racing a lot and boxing and gladiator stuff, and there's Roman Colosseums and whatnot back then. But so think about it, a race, right? The race itself sucks. Yeah. Like, I don't enjoy running. Yeah. But when you're done and you win the prize, was the pain and suffering worth it?
Right.
Was the training worth it? So focus on that, and learn to embrace, the suck. Even as a Christian, like it's like it's much easier for me to do it physically, but spiritually, it's like hard to go. Okay, this is just a trial or trouble.
Yeah.
Let me embrace it.
Yeah. Well,
but instead, like, because I don't think we're trying to embrace that. We need to embrace the Lord, not the trial or trouble or tribulation.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. And the thing about it is men as Christian men, we're in a spiritual fight. We better be smart enough to equip ourselves for that fight, or we gonna get our eyes beat out. You know what I'm saying? We better know that we're in a fight. And so you got to know that you're gonna have troubles, you're gonna have tribulations, you're gonna have, the devil is gonna put in your mind an excuse not to do a certain thing, not to do this or not to do that, an excuse. It's just a freaking excuse, and it's just you not being prepared for the fight that you're in, and you getting suckered.
Yeah, but here's the thing about the fight is we have armor and we have a weapon.
But if you don't go to the freaking armory and pick it up,
salvation, truth, the gospel, the word of God, there it is. That's what we've got, the stuff we need for the fight. Suit up, bro.
Yeah. And then you're serving and you're being around godly men. That's your training. That's your training. That helps you get ready for that spiritual warfare.
Because you're watching other people do it. You're watching what they do.
Yeah. So that helps you get better, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to be in a boxing match against Mike Tyson, you just ain't gonna roll up out of here and go.
Might.
Yeah, that's a bad. You got a horrible analogy. But I'm just saying, you're gonna train for it. You wasn't gonna do one of your savage races or whatever that off the wall crap you did. It was like off the chain. You had to do like 13.
I did not. I worked out.
Well, what if you'd have stayed on the couch and not went and worked out?
Yeah.
Yes, what I'm saying. So
the outcome would have been different.
100%.
Yeah,
100%. You would have got your eyes beat out.
Maybe.
You're so humble. God, I mean, you're just so humble.
I got that predetermined willpower, son. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't gonna go. You're not gonna go duck hunting in a fluorescent green suit.
You ain't seen the videos, dude. I got the boat on these ducks. I'm an idiot.
That's just terrible analogies. Using you in any kind of analogy is terrible. But what I'm saying is, you're gonna prepare for a battle, no matter what that battle is.
Yeah.
The main thing you got to know is you're in a freaking battle. You ever been sucker punched?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah. You know what? You was the sucker because you didn't know a fight was fixing to break out. Yeah. I'm telling you now. The devil is going to fight you spiritually. Don't be the only sucker that knows the fight ain't fixing to break out.
That's a story for another time.
Right. But I'm just saying, I mean, you got to prepare yourself. And the way you prepare yourself for it is when stuff starts going bad, turn your focus off of the bad and turn it on to God. Yeah. And just like you said a while ago, man, make God be close.
Yeah.
So whatever it is looks small.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it. There's a lot of guys right now that I know that are going through some stuff. And I'm trying to encourage them to not allow the trials and troubles that they're going through and the situations that they're going through to let them, withdraw.
Yep.
And so that's just what was on my heart last week.
Oh, I know. And I mean, and me and Wheelie and I talked about this last night. The hardest part of D group is the first 4 to 5 weeks.
Yeah.
It's the hardest. And the reason it's the hardest, and this is just my personal experience. This is why it's the hardest. It's when the devil's going to attack you the most.
Yep.
And it's when you're doing something that you're not used to doing. So that's when you got to set those habits. You got to transform that mindset. That's when the devil is going to attack you the most, is in that first few weeks. Because if you ever get past, if you get the week where we're at now, we're week 8, 9. I mean, me and Willie's a week behind y'all. Y'all are like 9, we're 8, going into 9 and 10, I think. But now that we're here, we're over the hump. And that's what I told Willie. I was like, Willie, the hard part's done.
Yeah, you're a third of the way through.
Yeah, you're a third of the way through. So the hard part's done. You've already set the routine. Mine and his D group's going to be a little funky because of his work schedule's fixing to change. But, we're going to stay the course and we're going to keep driving because the hard part's over. Yeah, and that's why it really discourages me and really hurts when I see guys that start a D group, and then are women. It ain't just men; it's men and women. They start a D group, and they don't give it the time, or they don't devote and just say, hey, look, this is very important. I need to do this for the betterment of me as a man, me as a father, me as a husband, me as a son, daughter, whatever. And they don't just decide.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to take this time. I'm going to block out this time. I'm going to make sure I get this done. I'm going to commit to being there every Wednesday night or whenever you're doing it. Because the outcome of it is, that's why it's such a struggle, man. Because, dude, the devil is losing people.
Yeah. So, you talk about that. The first couple of weeks, you doing something for the Lord, trying to improve your relationship with the Lord. It's gonna be a battle, man.
It's gonna be the worst battle.
Yes. And then do you surrender to the Lord, or do you surrender to the enemy in that battle?
That's it, man.
That's the question.
100%.
Do you pick up the helmet of salvation, the belt of truth, and breastplate of righteousness, and you pick up the sword of the Spirit, and you put on the shoes of readiness of the gospel, and do you fight the battle, or do you shy away from that?
Got to pick a coconut something.
You know what I'm saying? We've got a responsibility in that to do what we're called to do.
Yeah.
And the Lord gives us what we need to be prepared for the battle, but we got to suit up.
Got to. You got to.
So anyway, we pretty much out of time for today, but here's the reality of the situation, man. Trials, tribulation is going to come. Jesus told us they would.
Yep.
And he said, but
that puts in.
Take heart, I've overcome the world.
Bingo.
So focus on Jesus. Make Jesus bigger than the trial, the tribulation, the struggle, the trouble that you're having in life.
Yep.
And that struggle and that trouble, that trial, that tribulation will be minuscule.
Yep. And I think my takeaway from it is find glory in it, man. Find glory in the struggle. Know that be happy for the struggle. I know that sounds stupid, but be proud.
Well, it's biblical.
Yeah, be proud that you're in that struggle, but turn your focus immediately to God.
Paul said to rejoice in all things.
Yeah.
He didn't say that. The Holy Spirit used him to say that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it says in James, man, count it all as joy.
Yep.
To know that you're in a place where the devil feels like that he's got to put you through a trial or a tribulation. He's got to put you through a trial because he's losing you.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? If you're not going through trials, guess what? The devil don't have to try you. He's got you.
Yep.
Just saying.
All right. Well, until next time, our dearly beloved.
That's it. Girl Scouts.